The PlayStation 1, or as it is more commonly known, the PS1, was released in Japan on the 3rd of December 1994, in North America on the 9th of September 1995, in Europe on the 29th of September 1995, and in Australia on the 15th of November 1995. And that is where this baby is from. Good old Down Under. My mum was in Australia visiting relatives and stumbled across this beauty of a machine and made the wise decision to buy it for me as an early Christmas present. Little did she know the monster she was creating. So in honor of the new camera, I thought I would show off my PS1 collection, which consists of 21 games. Most I have had since my childhood, and others recent newcomers to my collection. Some in better shape than others. This might be a two-parter or maybe one video, we shall see how it goes. Leave a comment on what you think the total worth of all my games are. Ape Escape, that's better, is a platformer where the game tells the story of an ape named Spectre, who gains enhanced intelligence through the use of an experimental helmet. Spectre produces an army of apes which he sends through time in attempt to rewrite history. Spike, the player character, sets out to capture the apes with the aid of special gadgets. I believe this is the first game that came with an analog stick. Actually was packaged with an analog stick, a green one to be precise, and I still have it to this day, and it still works, so cool. I loved this game back in its day, and fun fact, it is playable for PS Plus Premium members and comes with a pretty easy platinum. Video on my channel if you're interested. Up here, up there, I don't know which way it is. Bushido Blade is a 3D fighting game that was released in Japan on the 14th of March 1997. The game features a one-on-one armed combat and realistic fighting engine, which was seen as innovative, particularly the game's unique body damage system. I didn't get far in this game, but there was this one map that had you fighting in a bamboo forest, and seeing you slice bamboo while engaged in combat with your rival was pretty awesome. Crash Bandicoot 2, the granddaddy of platformers and the first PS1 game I ever played. And let me tell you, it was love at first sight. This game's humor was right up my alley. Lots of fun memories playing this one. That's why I was so pumped when they announced the remaster for all 3 games for the PlayStation 4. I have like 3 or 4 trophies outstanding for Crash 2's Platinum. The majority are time trials, which is the reason why it's taking so long. Time trials trophies really put me off. So maybe one day I will go back to that and hopefully get the Platinum. Croc, Legends of the Gobbos. Another platformer game that came out in 1997, though not so many fond memories. Not that it's a bad game, on the contrary, it's just that its controls were ass and not as good as Crash's. It would get a sequel 2 years later, but other than that it seems pretty much dead in the water for this franchise. Though, after all that, this is one of the games that I really hope they remaster. I see potential in it, so hopefully Sony or whoever has the rights to this gets on that. Don't make me beg, please. Disney's Hercules. 1997 seems was a banger for games. Fresh off the heels of the movie that released in the same year, this game was surprisingly enjoyable, for me anyway. While researching this, I saw that critics were divided. But that being said, I'm on the side that this is a good game and one I loved playing. Destruction Derby 2. Now, depending on what part of the world you were from, this game either came out in 1996 or 1997. This is the perfect example of mindless fun. Obviously, the more destruction you cause, the more points you got. So what I used to do in races was to do a 180 and go the wrong way and smash headfirst into oncoming traffic. just like my parents taught me. Wait. Capcom, who just couldn't miss in the early 90s, brought out two generation-defining games in 1999 and 2000 respectively. Let me introduce you to, ladies and gentlemen, Dino Crisis 1 and 2. Two great games, though two very different vibes. The first Dino Crisis was coming off the success of the Resident Evil franchise, so was more survival horror, where Dino Crisis 2 went the Resident Evil 4 route and went more action adventure. These two are recent additions to the collection. Dino Crisis 1 I managed to get a really good deal on a second-hand site, and Dino Crisis 2 is an early birthday present from my sister. So if you're watching this, thanks a lot, sis. Love you. Not everything that launched on the PS1 in that generation was a hit. This game was ass. So much so that I didn't even get past the first level. I was bored, poor controls, poor graphics, and that's saying something for a game from the PS1 era, and just poor all round. Not many people asking for a remake of this game, though the movie was pretty entertaining. Go watch that instead. It might be hard to believe, but back in its day, FIFA was actually really good. I would always play as Man United, and with the legendary strikers Cole and York, I would go on to score 100 goals a season. With each of them, may I add. Then I would try and make the keeper score as well, just for laughs. Good times.
He scored into the roof of the net and no chance for the keeper.
It's amazing how far graphics have come, if you think about it, because one of the selling points for this game at the back of the case is that the players' mouths move. So it blows the mind thinking about it now. Final Fantasy 9. The only Final Fantasy I have ever played, and in my opinion, the best one. I can see what all the fuss is about when it comes to these games. The art style for this game in particular is beautiful and definitely iconic. Awesome characters and a roller coaster ride when it comes to the story. What seems like a normal go to the castle and kidnap the princess for a hefty ransom turns into one hell of a I did not expect this level of storytelling. I love this game so much that I actually bought the digital version for the PlayStation 4. But no way in hell am I going for that platinum. I'll leave that one for Plat Dad. Future Cop LAPD. In this game, players assume the role of a pilot for the X1 Alpha, a robot designed to fight in the crime war in Los Angeles in the year 2098. The X1 Alpha is a police vehicle that can transform between a fast hovering pursuit vehicle and a slower, fully fledged combat mecha. There are two modes of play in this game: Crime War and Precinct Assault. Both modes can be played either as a single player or two player. One word comes to mind when thinking about this game: awesome! Various weapons to mix and match your loadout before each mission, the cries of the criminals you wipe off the streets, and the sound of the police car turning into a mecha. Another game I hope they remake, a PS1 classic if you ask me. Plus, the menu music, fire!
We have a situation X emergency. 14 officers down, need assistance, over.
So, this is part 1. I will try and get part 2 out later this week, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Check out my socials, links down below. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and I'll see you all next time. PTR out.